Hi, Olivia. How are you?
What's good?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're great. We are so excited that you're here. I know you've had a pretty stressful week, or at least last week with your show. Can you talk a little bit about like how it went?
Yeah, of
I know that
course.
everyone who I know who went to the show afterwards were like, you gotta see it, like you have
It
to,
was so
like.
good,
Thank
yo.
you.
I don't even know what else to say besides that. Y'all look like some real professionals out there. Like, for real, like the
Thank
formations, the
you. 7 weeks of
themes, the
hard work.
everything. It paid off.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So we had our show last week. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Mhm.
And basically we're in the theater all week practicing. This was my first show that I choreographed for with Walter Little.
Hey, shout out
Um,
to him. Shout out to
Hey.
Walter.
So we choreographed the Lion King piece, and that went really well. We were really happy with how everyone performed, and overall, it was really great. It was our 20th anniversary, so a lot of alumni came back and performed actually. So it went really well.
That sounds like it went extremely well, actually. And y'all really do look like some professionals out there.
Yeah, no, they
Thank
did a
you.
whole like Lion King, Black Panther kind of. It was
Oh,
it was
okay.
it was a whole experience,
A
man. That was
production.
it was great. It was phenomenal.
So I
Thank
wanted
you.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. I know that you have a YouTube channel. I know that you've posted on YouTube before. Now, is posting videos on YouTube something that you would like to continue, or is it more so a stepping stone into other areas or platforms?
I think as of where I am right now, I've definitely used it as a platform and a stepping stone. I think coming from high school, I didn't have internships within like the marketing or media industry, and I was able to use YouTube as a platform to learn, to meet other people. As for moving forward, I would definitely want to continue YouTube, but I don't see myself doing it as my main career. I definitely want to go into the media industry.
Definitely. So, I mean, you talked about a little bit of what you did in high school. Tell us a little bit, like, where are you from? Like, what,
Like
give
what
us,
you
give us
about?
the,
Yeah.
what you
What you
about?
about?
What you about, cuz?
So I actually grew up moving around a lot because my mom works for the embassy. So I was born in Connecticut, but then moved to Nairobi,
Hey,
Kenya.
shout out to
Okay.
Connecticut.
Nairobi, Kenya, then moved to Dakar, Senegal, then to Virginia, then to Bangkok, Thailand, and then
Hey.
Perth, Australia, and now we're in Beijing, China.
Hey,
But I went to boarding
Dang.
school in Connecticut, in Windsor, Connecticut, Loomis,
Yo.
Chafee.
That's a lot
why we're
of that's a
so-
lot of locations.
we're so
for
similar though.
a
You said
mere,
you
what,
now in
like-
Beijing.
Yeah, so my
Yeah, I
mom's
used
in
to
Beijing
live
now.
there.
Really?
Yeah, I also used to live in Australia.
Wait, what? How
Yeah,
have we never talked
because
about
my
this?
my dad is in finance, so because of that, we also moved a lot. So I was born in
Wow.
Connecticut, moved to Australia,
And Beijing.
moved to Beijing.
Did you like Beijing? Really?
Yes, in a sense that like I liked what I learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
I could never see myself living there again. I was really young.
Yeah.
Also, so it
Oh,
was
so
sort
you
of
lived there full time.
Yeah, I
Okay.
lived there like when I was in Beijing from like 7 to so I lived in China for about 6 years, and I moved from
Wow.
Australia to China when I was 7. You could probably imagine like growing up there as like a black girl was sort of, a little difficult, but like I sort of, it helped me become like an open-minded person. It helps, and I'm sure you could also agree with that. Like it's sort of living abroad, like being able to see all of these different places sort of helps you see everything with an open mind. But yeah, no, and I also, went to boarding school in Connecticut.
This I know.
This I know. Boarding
Nah.
school squad.
Olivia, I gotta ask, since you were so well traveled, 你会说中文吗？
Oh shit, bro, we about to.
I
说得
actually don't
会
speak
吗？
a lick of Chinese. All I knew was
no worries,
Ni
no
Hao
worries.
and Liang Ma Shao, which is the street that I lived on,
Ayy.
which was next to the
The
Sheraton or the
necessities.
Hilton.
I'm
你
with it.
会说中文？
哎，你知道我会说中文。
Oh shit,
我
bro.
们我们用中文聊天。
True. All right.
shout out to the
for people who
listeners.
don't know anything, they're gonna be like,
Yeah,
subtitles.
Yeah, you hear with a few Chinese or Mandarin speakers. So yeah, we study that and whatnot. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about Olivia. So Olivia, where did your interest spark for makeup, hair, and when did you decide to go public with your talent?
So I would say makeup definitely started before hair. My sister is very big on makeup, and she started her YouTube channel before mine, actually. So she would always just come for me in high school when my makeup was not looking right. So I was like, let me go ahead and learn how to do it right.
Hey, that
so
tough
she doesn't keep
love.
coming for me at breakfast where we'd have check-in and
At
all our
breakfast?
friends at breakfast where all our friends would be.
Damn.
So I said, let me just go ahead and learn how to do makeup. And then as for hair, one of my good friends in high school was really good at doing hair. And we were in Windsor, Connecticut. So there weren't that many hairstylists in our town that like did exactly what we wanted. So we pretty much just as a group of Black girls in a PWI as a high school learned how to do our own hair. So coming here, I just continued to do that like through YouTube on my own hair. A lot of people would ask me like where I get my hair done. And that's kind of how it went public, I guess you could say. I didn't really make an effort to put myself out there as a business, but there were friends that would come to me and ask me to do certain things. And then when people would ask them who, did their hair, they'd say me. So it's really just word of mouth. I haven't actively marketed myself as a hairstylist or as a makeup artist.
But those are two things that you definitely do very well.
Thank you.
I know. I mean, at least like whenever I see you on campus, I'm like, what? You can rock any hairstyle I've ever seen before. Like I forget. Your hair was silver at one point, and I was like, bro, I swear, if I walked out my house and I had silver hair, you know what people would say to me?
No, my mom was shook when she saw that. I put it on for my 18th birthday last year, and she came down and she was shook.
Her sister put her through that boot camp, bro.
She put me through that boot camp.
You never catch her slipping.
You're
no
not
more.
gonna catch me slipping now.
And does your sister still have a YouTube?
She doesn't. She hasn't continued making videos. She made it more so her senior year, and she's now a junior in college.
Oh, got you.
So no, she hasn't continued it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you're involved in a lot of different things on campus. We talked a little bit about YouTube, but now, you are a student, so we wanted to bring it back to campus somehow. And because of that, a lot of things take up your time, especially things like funk, like how we started out this interview with. So how do you balance being a student and also your side hustles, of whether it's doing people's hair, whether it's making your own wigs, whether it's makeup, like how are you able to balance the two?
I would say it's a combination of good time management and really being realistic with yourself when you take on extra things. So definitely starting with funk, you get to choose how many dances you're in. So if I know that I really want to spend more time on YouTube or spend more time doing people's hair, I'm not going to take on 6 or 7 dances. I'm going to take 5 or 4 or maybe less. And then also looking at my class schedule, I usually try to avoid Friday classes if possible. And that's when I'll make a lot of people's wigs or like do their makeup or whatever. So just making sure that I'm setting myself up for success at the beginning of the semester. And then after that, it's really just time management. I make sleep a priority, so I definitely would not advocate for not getting sleep in order to get all of this done. But really just laying out your day, putting it in your Google Calendar and making sure you have time. And let people know, like if people ask me to make a wig and they ask for it tomorrow and I know I don't have time tonight, I'm going to tell them I cannot make it tonight. Or I'll give myself realistic timelines.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sitting here like, wigs.
I'm learning. I'm learning out here. That's not my area of expertise. I'll go in and get a shape up, call it a day. So I'm learning a lot here. Okay, word. So we've also talked a lot in previous episodes about how work ethic and discipline and making those sacrifices what separates people, just doing a hobby and those really like seriously putting the time in, trying to make. Thinking towards the bigger picture and trying to take it a step further and make something great from it. So, do you see yourself in the same boat as people, making the like more high end, not to say quote unquote quality, if you say like wigs, like the more like professional stuff and being respected within the fashion like makeup scene at Penn, or like how do you navigate that?
Yeah, I mean, anything I put out, I make sure that it is of quality. Like I don't want to have anything out there with my name on it that that I don't want out there representing me individually. So each thing that I create should stand individually for what I stand for as a brand. So I definitely say that I see myself like within that realm of high-end quality products, whether that be fashion, makeup, or hair. Yeah.
Awesome. So what is your brand? What is the Olivia Diong brand? If I'm coming to, I probably wouldn't come for a wig, but if I was sending somebody, to Olivia Diong for a wig, what can they expect? What's the flair behind like what you produce?
Can you talk like more so about the time and effort you put into like each each wig that you may make for a person, or, you know, if someone hits you up and is like, oh, you know, I really want to get some braids or whatever, like, can you talk a little bit about the time and effort that goes into that?
Yeah, I mean, time-wise, all of these activities take a lot of time. Wigs, on average, take like 4 or 5 hours to make. If it's like a lot of braids, it'll be like 4 to 5 hours. If it's less braids, it'll be less time. But, you know, whenever a client comes to me, I think about how I like to be treated as a client. There's a lot of times where I've been disappointed going to hairstylists who won't talk me through the process or actually explain my options. And luckily for me, a lot of my clients are people that are my age that go to Penn who are just like me. So I just let them know. And a lot of people don't know a lot about like wigs or exactly what's going on with their hair, exactly what their money's going into. So I do make a point to explain what I'm doing, to send pictures throughout the process of what's being done, and to make it like exactly how I would want something to be made for me. Like nobody wants their tracks falling out on locusts, like, you know. So I'm gonna install it how you know how I would want it installed on me. And yeah.
Gotcha.
I feel it. So what is, so like I said, I'm learning. So like, what is like what is the process, the like necessary steps to make your
wig.
like your quality
Yeah.
of
Because
wigs?
I have never made a wig before in my entire life.
Yeah.
That just seems like something that's so, like, to be able to make a wig, but also to make a wig for somebody else.
Yeah,
Like,
that
I'm
was
like-
definitely hard. I started off making wigs for myself, and at least you can like motivate yourself throughout it. Like I'm gonna have these inches when I'm done, but to make it for someone else is hard.
Yeah.
But the process is, so as a client, you would provide me with the hair, and a wig cap, and then I just have the thread and a needle, and I just sit with my little wig head between my legs with the wig cap on it, and just sew it while watching Parks and Rec or The Office, and just sit there and sew. But yeah, clients just have to give me the hair and the wig cap.
Interesting, because I'm like, I live in a house. My mom's the only girl in our house. It's me, her, my little brother, and my stepdad. So like, I still be getting surprised. See, I'll be like, oh,
Yeah,
damn. I'm like, damn, oh, what is? Oh, okay, whoa, nah, just not even when she like when just seeing it around. I'll be like, oh, damn, I forgot. Like that be a thing. No, this is a cool learning experience here.
come to the living room, you see something on the TV,
Right.
like, what
I be leaving my wig head in the living room. My roommates are like,
I'll be like, dang, we got this shit lying around here
Right.
now. I feel that. That's what's up, man. So do you feel like your work ethic for your interests outside of school help you tackle like all your courses and all your other commitments that you go through at Penn? Like what's different about it? What's the same about the type of effort and work ethic you put towards each thing?
For sure. I mean, I think speaking like on the hair and like makeup business specifically, when someone is paying you their hard-earned money, especially when they're in college, like you have incentive to work harder. And I think that's something that I've definitely carried with me through my schoolwork as well. Like anything that I create, again, like I really wanted to stand on its own and stand for who I am as a person, as a professional. So I've definitely have let that influence my work. And then for YouTube, editing videos takes a really long time. So I've definitely built up patience. I've become more of a perfectionist. But again, just making sure that everything that you produce really just speaks to who you are as a worker.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So
those
what
are
is
some good.
Oh no, you got it.
No, I was just gonna say those are some good some good things I need to take notes on. Like,
I'm saying though.
I mean, I would never like. I mean, I feel like I'm the same way. Like, I would never put out something that I didn't think was quality. Like, unless I just wouldn't. Especially if my name's on it. Like, I gotta build, a certain repertoire where I'm like, people can look at my things and they're like, oh, like, you put your time and effort into everything. So
no, definitely.
Yeah.
So last question from me personally. I just I'm really interested. What is like the brand that you want people to what's the brand that you want people to have in their head when they think of your work, your wigs, your makeup, like anything that whatever products that you're putting out there?
I think overall just quality. I mean, my brand on YouTube is Live Nightly, and I haven't really extended that to like the hair and makeup business because it kind of just came up without me expecting it, with people asking me to do things for them. But overall, just quality, and I want everything to be affordable. I have marked my wigs really low, and it's been hard to keep myself motivated with that price point on it. But I think wigs are they're a great confidence booster, especially for a lot of girls who are recently gone natural. They're a great protective style. And I just really want a lot of the Black girls here on campus to feel confident in their hair, comfortable, like their wig's not gonna fall off or a track's not gonna fall off. It's just overall quality and confidence, to and throughout my clients. So that's the brand.
So if I'm walking through a wind tunnel at the University of Pennsylvania and I'm wearing an Olivia Diong wig, you can guarantee that it won't come off my head.
I can guarantee.
All
I
right,
have a few
then.
pins in, and it was windy today, and I'm still good. So you'll be good.
That's all that matters.
You'll be good too.
You getting a wig that's durable and made with
Right.
love. The whole package.
Definitely
I'm
made
with
with
it.
love. Yes.
I'm with it.
All right, well, thank you, Olivia. That is the first part of our interview. We end every guest interview with what's called a flash round, where
This
we
the
ask a
fun
couple
part right
questions.
here.
They're gonna be quick, so
Okay.
You got
we're
less than 3 seconds to answer.
yeah,
Oh,
just-
okay.
you gotta go with your gut feeling. All right. We have a couple. They're like they're 1-2 word answers. So
Okay.
you want to start this?
Yeah. So you ready?
All right. Give me a
Are you
second.
prepared? Yeah, get in your zone.
Give me a
Get in
second.
your zone. Get in your zone. This
Hey.
is where it gets intense right here.
All right.
All right. First question. Your favorite kind of wings?
Buffalo,
Bigger diva, Blue Ivy or Northwest?
Northwest.
Worst Medea movie?
It's hard to pick.
Yikes.
We
I
gotta
honestly
get an
don't know
answer.
the names of a lot of Medea movies.
get
I
it.
just know what they look like.
It's probably Medea Goes to Jail.
Okay,
Dang,
that one.
you-
Medea Goes to Jail.
What's your morning routine?
Depends on the day. Sometimes I exfoliate, sometimes I don't. Wash my face, brush my teeth, do my hair, get dressed, do my makeup, go to breakfast, work out sometimes, go to class.
Gotcha. Your least favorite seasoning?
Pepper.
Oh, yeah. If you're stranded on a desert island, who would you bring with you?
Trey Solomon.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Ooh, should I have said Ashley Gilmore? I'm gonna stick with Trey Solomon.
Okay.
Word.
we can go back.
Word. Who you more excited for, JoJo or the All-American Rejects?
JoJo. Marvin's Room. Are you kidding me?
Oh, right.
All right. It was a
Now,
bop.
Kittens or puppies?
Puppies.
Do you do the reading for class every week?
It depends on the week.
Okay.
Favorite non-living musician?
Whitney Houston.
Good.
Worst Thanksgiving food?
Stuffing.
What?
Right.
Okay.
a little weird.
All right. Everybody got their
Now-
opinions.
If you were a model, which low key you are, but it's okay. If you were a model, who would you want as your coach?
Miss J from America's Next Top Model.
What's the worst thing about pop culture right now?
Everything is the same.
Eric Killmonger or T'Challa?
I'm going with Killmonger.
Okay. Word. One gotta go. Everybody hates Chris. That's So Raven or the Proud Family.
That's a Raven.
Okay.
Oh, no hesitation. Whew, okay.
And
All
last question, Zoe 101 or Drake and Josh?
Zoe 101 was that
yeah,
shit.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Olivia, for stopping by
Appreciate it.
Unseasoned.
Thank you.
We are going to take a break.
Cool.
And welcome back to another episode of Unseasoned. I am joined in the I am Jermaine, joined in the studio with the beautiful, amazing Alana Barrett, and the also equally as beautiful and equally as amazing Olivia Diong. Days is out here doing her presidential thing right now. She is the new executive VP
Hey, shout
of
out
the
to
class
Days.
of 2019. So, she unfortunately couldn't be with us today, but gotta do what you gotta do, man. She's making major moves. So, Olivia, we went through your interview, we went through the flash round, and now you were able to join us for what we're mad at, and you can get mad with us. So, to start it off, what I'm mad at this week,
Tell us, Jermaine.
a YouTuber, Candace Owens, is being dubbed as the next Tommy Loren.
Is that how you pronounce her last name? Lorraine?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I guess. I think so.
I mean, I never really took the
I
time.
was never really interested in learning. So, This girl, Candace Owens, is a black 28-year-old conservative who is experiencing an expedient rise in popularity through the whoa. So, I guess I kind of, the right wing media circuit, according to complex.com. And so I'm not mad that she's black. I'm not mad that she's conservative. You're all allowed to, think what you think, and have your own views on the world. But we don't need another Tommy Loren.
We really don't.
Out of everybody you wanted to be in the media, you wanted to be Tommy Loren. Like, really, you didn't want to be Oprah. You didn't want to be even Wendy Williams. You wanted to be Tommy Loren, the notorious fire starter for coming at Jay-Z, coming at LeBron, basically any public black figure with an opinion. Tommy had something to say about it. And now we have a new one. What's her name? Candace Owens. You see how just uninterested I am to hear just what anything this girl got to say, man.
So did she dub herself as like the new?
No, people are dubbing her that because of her content. So she started on YouTube, and so her first YouTube videos was a quote unquote. Her first YouTube video, quote unquote, coming out as a conservative, got over 258,000 views.
Man, I'm mad because she's from where she was born, also where I was born. She's from Stanford. Man.
Oh, no.
And so she's been all over Fox News and like other radio and TV outlets, and videos titled "How to Escape the Democrat Plantation" and WTF, Black Lives Matter has a list of demands for white people. Gasp.
Oh no! The Democrat plantation.
The Democrat plantation.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I know you said before, like, it's okay to be conservative and all your you can believe what you want to believe, have opinions on whatever you want to, have opinions about. But to me, if you are a level-headed black woman in the United States, if you are educated and she went
to business school.
Yeah,
She went past undergrad.
So for you to be an educated black woman in the United States, but to also be conservative as hell and to be backing, so I'm assuming she's a Trump supporter then, or no? Omarosa, who's like, I'm conservative and like, I don't really care about black people, but like, Trump is the devil.
I would assume so if she's putting out all of this type of content in this political climate. But what's funny is that the GOP don't even really fuck with her like that. The former vice chairman of the Maryland GOP, Eugene Craig, called her an opportunistic person who, for the development of her own celebrity, uses and attacks black culture while claiming to do minority engagement. So original, she's a Tommy Loren in blackface. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Wow.
Hit her with the heat, dog. I was like, dang, Eugene. You get flamed by somebody named Eugene, dog. Come on now. But yeah, so I mean, as I said, I'm not really mad about her political views. I'm just mad that she would want to even be that type of person in the media space. Yeah. Like, I mean, we've seen how well that worked for Omarosa. She's crying on Big Brother now, talking about whatever she's talking about. I don't know. And Stacey Jazz probably on the same route. But
as I scroll through, I see. So she's for Planned Parenthood, but she's also not for protests. She is. It seems like she also refers to undocumented immigrants as illegal aliens, which, all right, already you're canceled. Yeah. So I'm just not, first of all, I'm not really for her. Like, why?
But there's the story, the plot thickens. We ain't hold up. Y'all thought we was finished. According to this complex.com article, she used to be a liberal living in Stamford, Connecticut, attempting to jumpstart a database for reporting online bullying.
Man, she's embarrassing people from Connecticut right now.
But her site was allegedly heavily criticized by progressives, and it forced her to rethink her political standing and switch sides. She's quoted as saying, "I realized my friends were my enemies, and my enemies were my friends."
Oh my goodness. Wow, what a powerful quote.
So we
Right?
see she's really been in it for a minute, apparently, as a conservative. So that's what I'm mad at. I'm just like, why would you even want to? Even just why would you want to?
It's also not a great excuse for switching over your political beliefs because it's usually the ideas, not the people who are coming for you and your good cause.
All because people had something to say about your website. Oh, y'all
But
my
now
enemies.
look at her.
She's also, if anything, you would switch from. It would be the opposite way. You would be really, really conservative, and then you'd be like, oh, because of what people are saying about me and my website, I guess I care about black people now.
I guess, as a black woman.
It wouldn't be the other way around, but like, what?
I'm just mad. She even looks like that girl that reminds the teacher to take up the homework at the end of class. But she that type of person. So already an X in my book. Hopefully an X in yours too. But be on the lookout for Candace Owens, a.k.a. Tommy Loren in blackface, apparently.
I mean, to be honest, that's not even far off because her pinned tweet on her Twitter says, like, it was a quote that she had and said, Donald Trump represents the first opportunity for black Americans to jump off of this ideological slave ship. That is the Democratic Party.
Apparently, it's a Democratic plantation too. So, all right.
Nothing
like those real plantations that they had us on.
Lived on.
Yeah.
Nothing like the real, not an ideological, but like the real ideological slave shit. Bitch, what? That's like in English and you're going through some you're reading Huckleberry Finn or something and y'all talk about some ideological.
Ideological slave shit.
Right? Like, as if you're not black.
Right. As if you are not living in this ideological slave shit yourself.
Just all those imaginary whips and chains that our people had to endure just don't mean nothing when we're living on a democratic plantation today. That's what matters.
Democratic plantation. Oh, that's you know what? I understand why you're mad.
I'm just like, come on, dog. Like, really?
Well, oh my gosh.
That's what I was upset about.
My little tidbit, as we've been saying, has nothing really to do with race per se, but it's more so a general thing. Like I said earlier before we had the interview, I shouted out a Yodel kid, as everyone who has access to internet service knows who this little boy is. But if you don't, I mean, if you go on Twitter and you type in Yodel Kid, you'll be able to find him. He's basically this little boy who was wearing, these nice ass boots and this big ass belt, and he was in Walmart and he was yodeling, and it was, and it low key bops. Like after a couple, after about 6-7 listens, you're like, oh,
wait, for those
can you play it just in case?
I was about to say, for those that haven't heard it, I'm definitely about to pull this video.
I might sing along, so I'm gonna move away from the mic just in case.
Let me move this up. Let me pull this up on my Twitter right quick.
Hey.
But wait. There's
Wait,
also
why you
No, I'm pulling up.
This is her song.
Oh, no. I got y'all. Don't worry.
This is a remix.
Right?
Hey. Go ahead.
Hey.
So this
that's
little
the Yodel
boy.
Kid, if you ain't know.
First of all, every time I see him up on my timeline, I just am so happy because he just brings a little smile to my face. And this little, I knew people were gonna remix it, like I knew, but I didn't actually know how they're gonna do it because it's a whole country song.
It's a whole yodel, not just
it's a whole yodel.
That's like that backwoods mountain song you hear in West Virginia. Who yodels?
So shout out to him, but to everyone who won't let people have nice things, I'm tired of y'all really, especially on Twitter. Like, once you see someone either goes viral or someone has a tweet or someone has, a video that is popping, there's that subset group of people who are like, oh, let's make sure he doesn't get on to Ellen. Oh, all he doing is yodeling in Walmart. Oh my God, all these people out here getting viral and I can't even get 10 retweets.
Oh.
Look.
I can't even get 10 retweets.
Look, I am tired of y'all getting all upset because one boy who's out here just having fun in Walmart is out here becoming an internet sensation. Like, what does that have to do with you? Like, at the end of the day, like, you're still going to listen. You're still going to really, you're still going to sit back and be like, look, you still going to yodel all damn day.
Right.
I don't care if he's invited to Ellen, so what? At the end of what is that somehow like a space that was taken away from you? Like, I'm confused. And like, I'm just tired of people in general. Like, this was just an example, but I'm tired of people in general just really being like, oh, if someone is excited about something and people will sit here and like make fun of how excited they are about it, or like let people be happy, like, oh my God, like, it's so upsetting when I'm talking to someone and they are, for example, like, I was talking to someone this week and so they're really excited about Harry Potter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am not particularly the biggest fan of Harry Potter. Not because like I just didn't like it, but I just never.
You never got into
too many books to read, like too many. Like it was just so much.
Was long than a mug.
Yeah,
too,
and so it's just like, like I get the hype or whatever, but like, I mean, I guess if I were to devote the time to it, I would like it too. But like,
wait, I got a tangent real quick. Did y'all school have like the what was that doing? At my elementary and my middle school, we had the little points for each book. And them Harry Potter books about 45 points, but you had to read another book for the whole year.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, I was talking to somebody who's pretty much like a stan of Harry Potter. And so she starts talking about fan fiction or whatever, and she's like, oh, well, let me be quiet because, like, you probably don't want to listen to it. Or like, oh, because, I get it, like, it's stupid or whatever. And I'm like, damn, like, to think that you probably have talked to so many people about this and the amount of people who have shut you down. Yeah. The minute you start talking about something that you enjoy, people are like, oh, well, if you don't stop with all that Harry Potter nonsense, like, oh, blah, 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 Voldemort. Like, shut up. Like, leave people alone.
Voldemort.
Like, this is why people start apologizing before they even... Like, this is why people apologize for stuff that they enjoy. Like, this is why people can't enjoy little things, the little things in life. Like, if you were to scroll through any news, like, application, news outlet or anything, there's just terrible things about Trump, about porn stars, about the weather, about earthquakes, about all this racism, slavery, everything. And then for you to, like, literally sit there and to get mad because... this little boy who wants to yodel in Walmart is probably going to be on Ellen and you probably won't be, is upset. Like, leave people alone.
Yeah, stop
That's
being
why, like, it just really made people, like, yes, and of course people were going, like, people started making remix and people were like, y'all aren't gonna make him some viral sensation out here letting y'all have these trap beats on this country music. Like,
stop
let people
being haters.
Goodness. Like,
let the little boy sing. It makes him happy. Let the little boy sing.
Let the little boy sing. And if he's invited to Ellen, so the fuck what?
Right.
If anything, it's just going to be, like, Ellen has so many kids on her show, they only get marginally more famous for about 2 weeks.
If anything, like, y'all still going to watch it anyway.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Just because y'all hate it. Right. So,
like,
who really winning?
That was my little thing that I was just really annoyed about, is that just people who just won't let other people just smile for once. Like,
just black people in general, would they be the first to do it? Especially, and I'm thinking the most specific, the more specific example is when people be talking about they eating healthy, like, oh, you brought that salad to the cookout. Jim always eating that damn rabbit food. Yeah. Like, man, let the man eat,
that is
You sure you don't want a burger or some meat on that plate? Like,
I was wondering if I was gonna also mention that, because that's like a whole nother. If somebody, that's like making fun of someone for going to the gym. Like,
right.
Like,
right.
Like, what's wrong with you?
I don't even know why it's your business. But the worst part is that they be the first people to ask for something. Be like, let me get this. I just want this carrot right here. That's all I want to eat. Like, oh, okay.
They're like, you got this with some avocado, bitch. What that tastes like?
Right.
I'm like,
well, since you eating it, you know I am hungry. Like,
so that was just my little thing. It just upset me, but But yeah, we don't really have anything up for debate per se, but we probably will on the next episode.
Yeah, be looking out for that. But you know what, Olivia, it's been amazing having you in the studio.
It really has been. It's been
You know
fun.
something we didn't talk
me.
about either? This is the first episode we recorded at night.
Right?
This
Is
that
it?
late
Yeah.
night unseasoned.
I like the vibe of the night show.
It's
I
cool.
like
It's
it too.
chilling. It's
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Well, as always, you want to hit the outro?
The little
want me to hit the
outro
outro,
here?
or whichever.
Well, oh yeah, true, because you introduced.
It's always a
The
list of
lovely
we always
Olivia.
about spreading the love, giving the love back that we receive here on Unseasoned.
Of course, but we would like to.
Well,
I said, of
before
course,
we-
we'd like
before
to, of
we-
course.
before we get into that, actually, Olivia, is there any final words you want to leave with our audience? Any Instagrams you want to plug? Any pages you want to
YouTube.
plug?
Mhm.
Of
Any
course,
websites
yeah.
you want to plug?
Of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Live Nightly. That's night spelled like KNIGHT. That's the same as my Instagram name. And of course, if you want to pursue anything, just hustle hard and go for it. That's the only thing I can leave you guys with.
Some good words, some good tidbits we have here on Unseasoned. We would like to, of course, take the time to thank the Kelly Writers House, Mary, Zach, Imani, and you, the listeners, for allowing us to do this. You guys
Bang.
are the reason why we're able to make this possible. So please be sure to rate and subscribe on iTunes, like and repost on SoundCloud, follow us on Twitter at UnseasonedPod, and Instagram at The Unseasoned Podcast. And we'll see y'all next week.
Y'all take care.
Bye.